What's up, guys? My name is Jackson McIntire. Quick background on myself. I worked at PFF for 8 years, where I was a senior analyst and one of 5 people who finalized grades for quarterbacks, receivers, and coverage defenders. I trained under current and former NFL and NCAA offensive and defensive coordinators, and my goal now here with this channel is to give quick, efficient, high-level breakdowns on current players and prospects. You can follow me on X at 2HighCoverage, where I post a lot of these clips, and you can listen to my podcast, Tape to Take, with Joel Moran on the Tape to Take YouTube channel. We just had Theo Ash on there for a good one, so make sure to check that out. So let's dive into this. Here he is at the bottom. I love the juice he's got on this break here on the stem of this little slant from the slot. But once he catches it, he is a load. Look at him just bring all that momentum to a halt. Flip those hips like he's a 200-pound running back juking a safety coming down the alley. And then I think he gets there. I'm not sure if they called that a touchdown or not, but I mean, man, the way that he throttles this down right here, like you don't see 220-pound 6'4" receivers move like that. And then look at how he takes this angle away from that safety. I mean, man, if he doesn't get in there, he's damn close. Another area of his game that I really like is how he attacks the ball in the air. He's not like a Quentin Johnston, who the Chargers took in the first round out of TCU a few years ago. Big receiver, body catcher, tons of drops. Ted McMillan attacks the ball in the air. So he pushes vertical there, breaks it out, and watch how when the ball is arriving, he's leaning back towards the ball, not continuing to drift upfield. And then he catches with his hands. Little extra sauce there, extra bonus points for getting all the way in there and just kind of throttling this down after the catch. The little shoulder shimmy there, spin around to make that defender miss and get in. Not only is he big and he can use his body as a shield, but when he's extending those arms and attacking the ball in the air, it really helps out the quarterback. Now, while he is a bigger receiver, he wastes very little movement at the stem of his route. And this is one of my favorite routes of his this season. To come back and look at how efficient he is there in breaking this down and coming back to the ball. Now, he doesn't get the target here. Let's watch that full speed. Boom. That is so sudden. You love to see that from a guy his size. Look at that. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Corner can't keep up. Loses his balance trying to mirror that. Now here's another phenomenal route by Tet. You've got him lined up to the top. He's got a corner and press. This is going to be a cover 2 coverage from the defense. Just a blaze out. Julio Jones used to run this all the time. Outside release. Now the defense is in this triangle type coverage here where you've got this wall inside underneath zone defender. You've got that flat defender who is kind of taking the cheese a little bit from 85's release down into the flats here. And then you've got that safety plane over the top. Now against cover 2, you want to try and attack this area of the field. So watch him push up, sell the post, and now you've got this wall man leaking out a bit. But watch how Tet is going to throttle down here. Again, very efficient. The safety over the top here, off balance, can't keep up with the break. And then he's going to just bend that back outside. We'll play this in full speed right after to really appreciate it, but man, what a route. Now, a lot of receivers would stay flat here. And what that would allow is for this safety, if he was in better coverage and wasn't caught off balance on that break trying to keep up with Tet's agility, is that it would give him time and less space to cover in order to meet at the catch point and potentially break that up. But watch how subtle this is. Look at where Tet is right here, and watch how when the ball is in the air, he's going to come back just a bit towards the ball instead of breaking this flat. Boom, it's up high, it doesn't matter, he's 6'4". Love that finesse there. NFL catch, 2 feet down in bounds, not just one. Extra little bonus points for all the scouts. Now here's another beautiful route from Tet. And what makes this even better is that the clear out receiver, the slot here, who's trying to just run deep, run off coverage a bit so that Tet can sell this little crosser and then break back outside, is this slot receiver takes a nosedive. You're going to really see Tet here not just run a great route, but attack the ball in the air as we've already seen. So there's that crosser that he's selling. But once he sells this, that DB is going to hop inside right there, gives Tet back the outside, There's that nosedive, by the way, that has crowded this up. And then he's just going to run away from coverage. And once the ball gets in the air, you're going to see once again, instead of continuing to drift, he's going to come more flat, a little back towards the ball, and then he's going to attack it at that high point. Boom. What this has done is this has kept all of these defenders away from the ball. And now Tet is the only player on the field that has a chance. Again, both feet down. Now here he is lined up at the top. We're going to see him push into that off coverage. And here's that dig route. Man, we love Tet running digs. Teams love to run a dig route from the weak side of a 3-by-1 formation right now. They'll run all different kinds of concepts. Oftentimes we'll see flood to the strong side with a backside dig coming. The quarterback will read that 3 side initially, and then if he doesn't like what he sees, he comes back to that 1 side where that receiver is running a dig. And the timing there is typically meant so that the quarterback comes off the strong side and to the weak side right as that receiver is breaking on the dig route. And with Tet's body, we don't really get to see it here, but he loves to throw that outside shoulder into the DB and create extra separation with his frame. Because he's so big, it typically works. So watch him attack this DB in off coverage, eats up that cushion, breaks this flat, and once again, ball's in the air. Look at that. These hands are out. He's not catching this with his body. Now, he's created a good amount of separation here, so it wouldn't really matter. But if this DB was an NFL DB, maybe he's right here instead of right here, then now look at this extra space that Tet has to catch the ball. This gives the quarterback an extra cushion to complete the pass. And then just to throttle that down, break it back outside, he is such a load in the open field. So here he is up top. Weird looking coverage, but what this is going to be is another cover 2. It's an inverted cover 2. You're going to have this safety playing the deep half, triangle coverage from these 3. So Waller, flat, weird look, but here we are. So you're going to see Tet drive this up, and then boom, here comes that dig. Again, hands catcher, does not catch with his body. And then just after the catch, man, look at that. Now, Tet McMillan is a lot like Drake London in that he has a lot of position versatility. You can line him up inside or outside. Inside, he typically gets more free releases. You can get him that ball and let him do some of that yards after the catch stuff that we've been looking at throughout this video. He also gets mismatches with nickels, safeties, linebackers. Doesn't matter, but here we can see how that size really helps him out in the slot. So he's got a smaller defender on him. Watch him drive up against this off coverage. Right here, he loves to throw that shoulder into the defense. Boom, just very subtle. This is never going to get called. But it's, I mean, look at that. Like, it's, you can barely even see it, but look at that separation. He's so big. And again, just how he attacks the ball, when you're also considering that he has this physical element to his game, and then that he's this yards after catch monster. I mean, it's quite the marriage, man. Like, it is a sight to behold. Now here he is at the top, press coverage. Doesn't matter. Look at how he wins there, just into the sun. You can't see it great, but inside, DB tries to punch, right hands up. Look at that slap. Just, no, you're not going to press me today. Pushes that inside cut. Look at that separation. This is actually a run play. It's an RPO. He's kind of running a little glance route here, but man, I mean, that's open. Great job. Again, just beating the press. Again, doesn't get the target, but love this. It's like a crossover in basketball. Through the legs. Boom, boom. Just runs by him. Now here he is in motion at the top. He's going to come in and just run, rip the seam straight down the middle. It's a cover 2. We've got the 2 safeties here taking the half. And really, he's just trying to attack the pole runner or that Tampa defender who is getting depth and trying to run down the middle. Why we're looking at this play is for the adjustment that Tet makes on the scramble drill. So this ball is thrown behind him. Defender falls down. But look at how Tet is running to the right. And then he's going to have to work back to the left, get his head around, and make this catch. Yes, it's open. No, it is not easy. Look at that again. It's behind him. He's going to have to completely change that direction. Incredibly smooth and fluid. Boom. Looks easy. Not easy. Now here he is down at the bottom. This is a rep where he's not open, but he's 6'4", 220. And just because he's not open doesn't mean he can't come down with a ball. Reminder, 60% contested catch rate. Inside release here, running a post, sticky coverage by 4, but it doesn't matter. Attacks the ball. Strong hands to hold on through the catch point there. Just brings the ball in at the end, lowers the head to take that contact from the safety. But man, love to see that. Here he is lined up at the top. So we've got cover 3 here. We've got deep third, deep third, deep third. And then we've got underneath, 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 underneath. And the reason why it's so important for him to work back to the ball here is look at where he settles. So he settles about 20 yards downfield. This defender can drive back to the ball. And then we've got this underneath defender who is working out. If he's just sitting here, it's giving a big opportunity for one of these two defenders to close on the ball and break it up. But because he works back to the ball, look at 4 there working out to it. Again, if he was right here, there's a much higher chance that he can break this up. But not only is he running back to the ball, again, those hands are extended towards the ball, creating even larger of a window and a safety gap for that quarterback to fit the ball in. Now, I know some of this yak that I've been mentioning has been sprinkled in, but my God, here's the holy grail of them. This little out route here. Look at him after he catches this. We saw this juke move earlier, but here it is again. Plants that right foot. Whoop. It's like he's playing flag football. It's crazy. Barely touched him. Then again, plants, lowers that shoulder, takes 2 guys. Like, my God. Here he is at the top. Dig again. Separation. Here's more of that throwing that shoulder into that corner to create that separation. So you can see that corner with outside leverage on the outside shoulder. Then right before that stem, right here, you can see that right shoulder goes into the corner. Makes it so hard for that corner to mirror that stem, that inside break. Again, hands catcher, always. One thing you always notice with him. Then just look at how he breaks these. Like man, it's just, man, I don't even know what to say. He just does this so consistently. He's not even doing anything here on this first one. He's just trying to keep running horizontally, and he's just too big. Boom. Off balance. Spin. Doesn't matter. As soon as he comes off that second tackle, look at him here contorting his body, ready to put another move on. Like, this is rare stuff. 6'4", 220-pound receivers should not be able to move like this. Now here he is. Slow release. Catches it. Throttles it down. Corner is losing his balance. Let's look at that again. Whoop. Both hands on the ground. Turns us upfield. My God, just that inside hop there to just make 9 completely miss. Like, here he is coming down, and he's just gonna whoop. So fluid. Yep. Nope. And then the burners, man, like he did run a 4.47. Takes a little bit to get going. He's not the fastest accelerator, but once he's going, like, he's a tank. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, you can follow me on X at 2highcoverage. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so I can keep making these videos happen. Trying to gain a little bit of a following here. There's not a whole lot of editing with these guys. I just try to throw some good tape on, talk through it, and keeping it pretty bare bones so that I can output this content and so that you guys can consume it in its rawest and most natural form possible. Thanks, guys.